Hey, small group leaders, really excited to be a part of this. We're going to do this week, Ask Great Questions. Ask great questions. You've got questions on a list of paper, but we still want to give you some tips in case you want to craft your own or kind of take them your own way. Ask great questions. Small groups that are great have great questions. Pretty simple. You guys are going to be great at this. You guys can do this. First thing is going to be this, is that when you start your small group, you want to start awesome. Start awesome. And there's two parts of that. One, you want to pray. You don't want to go into small group on your own strength. You just don't have it. It is a height of arrogance to start a small group without prayer, without asking God to be a part of it, without having the Spirit be there. So start off, just pray. Pray real quick around the group. I would save the prayer request till the end. We won't talk about that here, but I would save that till the end. This is just getting started. Now, when you start, you start awesome. You're also usually doing a crowd breaker, fun questions. This is a real great thing. You might just ask, hey, what's your favorite childhood cereal? When you ask that question, here's what you're doing as a leader. One, you're kind of getting everyone to have fun, but you want everyone to answer. So now everyone feels comfortable sharing. They feel like their voice can be heard. But you're also listening. You might have a guy who's normally really involved, and you realize, hey, this guy's not paying attention. Or you got someone who, hey, she's a little nervous, so I'm going to try to draw her out later. So it's a really awesome way to get going. Start awesome. Your group's going to be awesome. Start awesome. The second thing is just this. Engage them. You want to engage people. And when you engage them, you want to know, probably the easiest question is this. Let them tell you what's engaging to them. So you ask them this. Hey, what struck you from the message this week? Now, the little trick to that is when you ask that question, this forces them to have an answer. Meaning they know if you ask that every week, they've got to be at the gathering. At the very least, they've got to watch it online, but hopefully they're going to the gatherings. But hey, what struck you this week? Again, this requires you to pay a little bit of attention. But when you ask them, hey, what struck you this week? You're getting some great answers out of them. And as you listen around the room, see what the Spirit's doing. Because you might come in with your set questions going, hey, I know where this group is going. I've prayed about it. I thought it out ahead of time. And then as you listen, you might hear that God has taken the group in a totally different way. In fact, God thinks it's kind of funny sometimes to mess with your head. Hey, I know where things are going. And God says, nope, you got to rely on me. So listen around to what people are saying because God might be taking that group somewhere different. What struck you this week? The third thing is this. You want to stay open. Stay open. Make sure that the questions you're asking are real open-ended. If you ask somebody questions that are kind of get a good answer, but it's not something that allows them to share their heart or what God's doing in their life, questions don't really go anywhere. And it's a real subtle thing, but sometimes it just changes your whole small group. So it's the difference between maybe in your small group you asking a question like, hey, what does Jesus think about loving others? You might get everyone in your small group to go around saying, well, Jesus thinks loving others is good. That's good. Now everyone said something that's true of Jesus and we agree on. But what you really want to ask is something more open-ended. You want them to share their heart. You want to share their past. You want them to bring out something that means a lot to them. And so you might ask a question instead of, what does Jesus think about loving others? A better question would be, how has somebody in your life loved you like Jesus? Now they're bringing up things from their past. Now they're excited. Now they're sharing. Other people might have similar experiences. It's an open-ended thing that allows them to really engage with each other and really share around the room. And God really works through that stuff. Fourth thing is this. Chase it. Now, this is another one that requires you to pay attention. That's a little key that you'll probably hear through this. Pay attention. Because when they share from their heart, you might hear them say something really great. And as they share, you chasing it means that you're listening and listen for what you can ask next. Sometimes it's just enough that your next question shows that you care enough that you've listened. So if you say, hey, how has someone loved you like Jesus loved you? Let's say they say, my grandpa used to take me out for ice cream when I was a kid. You could ask something really simple like, well, what flavor did you get? They're going to say rum raisin, by the way. That's the best flavor of ice cream. But then it just shows, hey, I care, I'm paying attention. People love when you ask them more questions. Oh, okay, I used to get rum raisin. But maybe like another, feel the room out, because another open-ended question might be the most appropriate thing. Okay, my grandpa used to take me for ice cream. You can then say, do you do that with your kids now? Now you've got them talking about all kinds of different memories, what they do, how it shares, and it's just kind of exciting. Maybe they don't do it, and now they feel a little bit challenged to do that with their kids in a really exciting way. Which leads us to number 5, which is this. Be Action Jacksons. You want your group to be Action Jacksons. To have a small group that meets every week and everyone's sharing about the gospel and the Bible and it's fun, and then they go home and do nothing with it is no good. We don't want that. We want a group full of Action Jacksons. The key to this is attainable goals. You don't want to give them something they can't actually do. You can't say, hey, you sound like you have a heart for the homeless. How about next week you make 80,000 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and hand them out in Seattle? Probably not going to happen. But if you have somebody who's going, hey, I want to get closer to God, maybe see, hey, dude, can you read the Bible a little bit, a verse between now and next week every day? Just something real simple. I mean, you know your group. But the key is this. One, you want them doing something that they can actually do, because next week you want them to come in having this thing and being really excited. If you give them a goal that's just way beyond what they can do, they might not show up next week or they'll be embarrassed. You want them to come going, hey, man, I read, a verse every day, and then, open-ended. Hey, what happened? What happened next? To have them share. These are awesome things. 5 things. Start awesome. Engage them. Stay open. Chase it. Be Action Jackson. You got it. You're doing great already. God is leading you. I can't wait to hear about what's happening in your small groups.